Rada skipped down the garden path, her little feet barely touching the ground. She was a happy girl who loved her garden and knew all the flowers by name.
Hello, Rosie. How lovely you look today.
Monty, her pet rabbit, hopped along beside her, twitching his nose and sniffing the sweet air. Monty loved the garden too, full of delicious things to nibble, but he loved being with Rada even more. Rada and Monty stopped by the old oak tree. Its branches spread wide, making a cool, shady spot where they liked to play hide-and-seek, and sometimes Rada would read stories to Monty under the oak tree. Today, something was different. There was a glow coming from behind the tree. Rada and Monty had never seen it before. Curiosity bubbled inside them. What could it be? Cautiously, Rada and Monty peeked behind the oak tree. There, nestled amongst the roots, was a tiny door. It shimmered and sparkled, unlike any door they had ever seen. Rada reached out and touched the doorknob. It was warm to the touch and covered in sparkling stones. As soon as her fingers brushed against it, the door swung open with a soft creak. A rush of warm air, sweet as honey, wafted out, beckoning them closer. Monty hopped closer, his nose twitching excitedly. He had never seen anything so magical. He looked up at Rada, his whiskers trembling with a mixture of fear and excitement. Taking a deep breath, Rada stepped through the doorway with Monty close behind. They didn't know what awaited them, but they were ready for an adventure. The magical door had called to them, and they couldn't resist its allure. S1. Monty, look! Rada gasped. The garden before them was more beautiful than anything she could have imagined. Flowers bloomed in every color imaginable. Butterflies with wings as big as her hand fluttered past. The air buzzed with the songs of unseen birds. Monty hopped into a patch of brightly colored flowers, his nose twitching with delight. He had never seen or smelled anything so wonderful.
It's even better than our garden, Monty.
Rada giggled as she watched Monty chase a butterfly with shimmering blue wings. In the distance, a waterfall cascaded down a hill of sparkling crystals. The sound of the water was like a lullaby. Rada and Monty exchanged looks. They couldn't wait to explore this magical place together. Monty thumped his foot in agreement. He had never seen so much magic in one place. As they ventured deeper into the garden, they came across a sight that made them pause. A willow tree, with leaves the color of emeralds, drooped sadly by the stream. Its branches, usually swaying gracefully, hung limply towards the ground.
Why is the willow tree so sad?
He could smell something wasn't quite right. Suddenly, a small voice spoke.
I am sad because my leaves are losing their sparkle. The stream that usually feeds me with magic has run dry.
Rada and Monty were startled. The voice seemed to come from the tree itself. Rada felt a pang of sympathy for the willow tree.
Don't worry, we'll help you.
He may be a rabbit, but he knew how important it was to help others in need. Rada and Monty followed the dried-up stream bed. They hopped over rocks and ducked under giant mushrooms. They were determined to find the source of the problem. The magical garden was too precious to let it be sad.
That's it. The water can't flow because of these rocks.
He could smell the fresh water trapped beneath the rocks. S2.
We need to move them.
Rada pushed against a rock with all her might, but it wouldn't budge. Monty hopped up and down in frustration. He wanted to help, but he was too small to move the rocks. Thinking quickly, Rada grabbed a nearby stick and used it as a lever. With a grunt, she managed to dislodge a small rock. Water gurgled out from beneath it, flowing freely once more. Encouraged, Rada and Monty worked together, removing rock after rock until the stream flowed freely again. As the water reached the willow tree, its branches perked up. The leaves regained their emerald sparkle, shimmering brighter than ever. The tree swayed gently, as if dancing with joy. A shower of shimmering leaves rained down on Rada and Monty, thanking them for their kindness.
Thank you, little ones. You have saved me.
Rada and Monty smiled at each other, their hearts filled with warmth. They had learned that even the smallest creature can make a big difference. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the magical garden, Rada and Monty knew it was time to go home. They promised the willow tree they would visit again soon and waved goodbye to their new magical friends. Walking back through the tiny door, they carried with them the magic of the garden and the joy of friendship. They had learned that responsibility and kindness could be just as magical as any fairy tale.